Hey friends, in this week's YouTube video, we are going to learn how to paint another composition which include tulips, roses. It's going to be a very fun composition. Also another thing that I am not using my normal studio palette. I am using a new palette that I had. So stay tuned till the end. For today's painting, I will be using a new palette. It's not my studio palette, but I absolutely adore this palette and it is from Roman Chizmal. The colors are from Roman Chizmal, but the palette is from Neveskaya Palitra, which brand makes White Knight. So I am gonna use this palette for today's painting, which I'm gonna keep aside. I do not know the names of these colors, so maybe I will just referring to the warm shade of red or a cool shade of red. And the brush that I will be using is Silver Renaissance round size 8, and the other brush is size 8 in Rosemary and Co. Kolinsky Sable series 22. So I'm just going to start with and the paper is Chitrapat 100% cotton watercolor paper, rough texture. So maybe I'll just refer to a, let's say, cooler shade of red mixed with an orange shade. So as you know, I do not exactly remember the names, and I will start by tracing out the base layer of the flowers, and I'll just try to keep it very rough, very, let's say, light. I won't be adding a lot of saturation in this. And then putting a round at the bottom. But also another thing that I will be doing is I will be picking some sap green and then I will be dropping it at the bottom side of the flower. So this is something I'm going to do, and what I'm going to do is I am going to make few of more base layers just like this. Very easy. So you can see currently the base layers, they are joining, but it's completely fine if the base layers are merging with each other. A little bit of green color, touching it at the bottom side, of course, and then I'll pick more of the red color that I mixed and I will be painting with that. And maybe also varying the saturation of the red color that I am using. So just gonna join it over here, and now I'm going to remove a lot of the color. I'm going to pick saturated consistency of the color, very saturated, removing all the excess water, and then I will be doing a little bit of detailing in wet technique. This is enough detailing for now, and now I will let it to dry. But in the meantime, what I will do is I will just shift to painting few roses which is in the composition. And there is a rose at the bottom side, so I will just add that rose. I'm of course going to increase its size. This is just the basic shape. And then I will also add a little bit of same thing at this side. Maybe I'll add it at this side. And now I'll take the same color but with more saturation, but basically the color is more, but the color is more, but the water is less. So this is just the basic shape. So now what I will do is, once I have a little bit of markings, I will just respect the previous boundaries which I laid, and now I will add a little bit of detailing slowly, very slowly, you know, like just respecting the boundaries that I painted earlier. And now I will do the same thing in the other flower. A little bit of more saturated red color. And then I just feel these are just 4 flowers at the top and a few at the bottom. These are tulips actually. So I guess I will be adding few more tulips at the back and at the bottom. So just to kind of balance the composition. So I will just back to the same basic shade that I made for the tulips. This is very basic shape of the tulip. And then maybe just one more at the top, but this is not very bloomed. Just kind of like this, and maybe I'll just add one more over here at the bottom side. Take a little bit of more color from the palette, just adding a little bit of saturation. And now I guess these flowers are kind of more dried, so what I will do is I'll start painting on them. just making sure that the boundaries are smooth comparatively. At this side, the rose flower that I painted is at the bottom side instead of the tulip flower, and also merging the shadows with the rose flower. And in the meantime, what I will do is I will also go back and add like something like this. Now I will shift back to the rose, but I'm also adding a little bit of purple to the red color for the third and the final detailing layer. A little bit of more purple color. And now I will working back on the tulips. Once I am done with all the flowers in the composition, now I will move to painting the stems and the green elements of the composition, which is the stems and the leaves. So what I will do is I will just start by putting like leaves first instead of stems. So I will go with nearly kind of watery consistency, just like this. And then I will take a little bit of more thicker consistency and a little bit more kind of darker consistency too. Now again going to the darker consistency of the green color. Once we are done up till here, we don't have a lot to do. So what we will do is we will add the stems in our composition. And then I'll pick a little smaller size of the brush, and now we will do a little bit of detailing at the side. A darker shade of green for the final detailing. Maybe a few more detailings at this part. And guys, we are done with the composition.